today. Hey, everybody, it's your girl, PJamma, with PJammaLyfe. And today, we're classy, bougie, and ratchet. I'm not going to say which one of us is one of those. I'll take bougie. And here we are today. We got some really great things to watch. And before we get into it, let me say hey to my fellas. Say hey to the people, Patrick.
Hey, everybody. Got some good stuff. I'll try to keep it really brief on my area of expertise.
He's not gonna.
I'll try.
And our guru of all things Star Wars, David. Say hey to the people.
Aloha and happy Labor Day to all of you who are making time to join us. A lot of great things to talk about today. So yes, see if you've watched what we're talking about, you are my dead onion.
Okay. Here we go. Ratchet.
Ooh, that means I'm classy. Yay.
Well, we'll see how the story goes. And today we're going to check out Wedding Season for all of our fans from India. And actually produced by Ron Howard and Brian Glazer, Imagine Entertainment, so big time. And we're gonna also check out the new, the exciting. It's here after what, 80 years. Lord of the Rings of Power series dropped. The $1 billion series is here, people. We'll tell you what we think about it. And then we have Megan Thee Stallion and She-Hulk. Oh, it's so good. And we have House of the Dragon. Okay, here we go. Let's get started and talk about Wedding Season on Netflix.
Don't do it.
Show me love.
What? Would it be so bad to let people think we're off the market? Not lie, just role-playing until wedding season's over. Fine, I'll pay $50 a wedding. He's not joining our family, guys, okay?
You're just more than fake dating. You like him, admit it.
I'll start. This was so cute. I thought this was a really cute rom-com in the tradition of every rom-com ever. It's also very family friendly. The whole family could watch it. And I thought it was really interesting, the twist on it to me versus American kind of style rom-coms. That the ending was a little bit of a surprise about her decision. So I thought it was a really fun, little easy movie to watch. Something that get with your girlfriends and a glass of wine and have a nice little movie to watch. Give you some peek into the Indian culture around matchmaking and the intensity of trying to find a husband or a wife. But it was a nice, cute little, very well produced looking movie. So definitely I'd say check it out. What do you think, David?
Well, Wedding Season. I love it. That's such a great line. It harkens back to me to a movie that it was nothing like, which was Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
Love Wedding Season. You sandbagging son of a Trump. I mean, it's just a great line. This was fun. Netflix beats Hallmark, but I thought it was great. I found the cast to be, it was really well acted. I found everybody
Beautiful
to be
people
really good. I enjoyed this immensely. It was 1 hour and 37 minutes.
Yep.
I would have loved to have seen a few more shenanigans and hijinks at different weddings. I think they had enough time to build in a few of those.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed this. One other thing that I love about stories, and we're bringing, kind of the immigrant aspect here of America. You've got the differences in the generations, where you've got folks that are they're they're a product of their culture and they bring that with them, which is wonderful, and their children more Americanized. One of the things that I love to see in that, the children that were born in the United States speak what? Perfect English, just like normal. So it was a neat little story, great cast, great acting. Loved it. I could have enjoyed watching a little bit more. Wouldn't have minded it being a little longer.
Yeah, me too. Patrick, what did you think?
It was okay. It was predictable.
High praise.
I mean, it was just. I didn't feel like it was an Indian movie. It was an American Indian movie. It's like, it didn't feel like an Indian movie at all.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the cast was all Indian, American Indians, and it was predictable. I didn't feel like there was any curveballs, nothing to really.
Wait, but didn't you think the ending of it? I thought that was a twist when you see a lot of these rom-com kind of things. She would have made a different choice, I think. Yeah. But in this one, she made, which for me was kind of a unique choice for these kind of movies.
What was her choice?
Well, I want people to watch it so they can see it for themselves.
I don't think there was anything unpredictable in that.
No.
I do.
I just
go back and watch it.
It was like watching, 10 Things I Hate About You, or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Dates. And it felt like it was just they slapped a different cast into it and called it something new. So it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it, but I just didn't. Okay. I didn't feel like it was spectacular. I didn't, everything was solid, but it wasn't a souped up Camaro. It was, a Ford Escort. It was okay. It gets you point A to point B. Point A to point B, but it's nothing spectacular.
I'd say it's more like a Chevy Cobalt, about 2009.
Okay, sure. That might be a little bit better than an Escort, but sure, we'll go with that.
I would give it a Passat.
I give it on a scale of 1 to 10, 6. It was a 6.
That's more than I expected from you. So
fair enough.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it was a purple.
Yeah. Well, but
figure that code out, everybody. I don't know.
But I definitely think this is wholesome and something for the entire family to watch. So that's what's really kind of elevates it too. You can look at other stuff on Netflix that's a little more steamy. But this is good for the entire family. Very good movie. Definitely check it out. Something good for everybody. All right. Now let's go to Patrick's been waiting decades, and it's here. And we're going to hear about it. We're going to let Patrick go first after we take a peek at Rings of Power.
We had no word for death, for we thought our joys would be unending. Now, we learned many words for death. And there, in the darkness, his vow became mine.
This mark's very existence proves Sauron escaped. He's still out there. The question now is where?
Okay, we're going to call this segment Patrick's Corner. And we're going to time him, but we're going to let him talk about Lord of the Rings. Okay? Rings of Power. Sir, please.
Okay. I'm gonna do this as a 2-part type of thing, okay? I'm gonna do the part where I pretend I don't know anything about
3 minutes.
I got as much time as I need to go here. You put the nickel and you're gonna hear the whole song. 2-part review here. Review 1. If I didn't know anything about it, it was decent. It was beautiful. It was shot well. I mean, they're working towards building a story. You know some of the backgrounds, even if you're not a Tolkien scholar. I mean, there's going to be rings in the future, and Sauron's a bad guy, and there's things that are happening. You kind of see some of the groundwork being laid for that. I mean, overall, it was beautifully shot.
Yeah,
you can see they spent the money because it looked like they spent the money. I mean, very solid special effects, everything in it. Okay, that's the end of that part of the review. Second. Okay, now here's some problems. Okay, I got some problems. I got some big problems.
Oh my god.
Okay, first off, Galadriel was never this incredible badass. This is the same kind of thing they did with Arwen and Fellowship of the Ring. Made her into this super badass warrior. No. It wasn't like that. Okay, and then why do they keep shipping elves with humans and dwarves and all this other crap? 3 unions of human and elf. That wasn't one of them. That Ordrith and whoever the healer girl. I can see them leading towards stop. Just stop with it. There is definite textual support that says there's 3 unions of elf and man. Baron of Luthien, Tuor, and Idris, and then you have Arundel and his wife. I mean, there's only 3, and that's actually it wasn't Arundel. It was Arwen and Aragorn. They're the 3rd. That's it. That's the only 3 people that get married that are human and elf. These this whole other crap they keep.
You got something against interspecies, interracial people dating?
Text. It's the text.
Those are 2 entirely different things now.
It's the text. It's like, and I think I've said this to you guys on some of the after shows we have our talks. There is a textual basis for everything, and if there's stuff that's not spelled out in text, you can go do your thing. But if you do stuff that is absolutely contrary to the text, it's like taking the Bible and putting a scene in it where Jesus goes and pulls a thorn out of a dinosaur's foot and tells it to go live in a lake in Scotland because it's a great CGI
Some
thing.
people are teaching that kind of stuff, so
it's a great CGI thing, and people will really dig it. No, just stick with the text. There's plenty of great stories, plenty of great fleshed out stuff. Okay, also the trees at the very beginning, the opening sequence, so much wrong. Hang on. Like I said, the trees, it shows Morgoth darkening the trees of Valinor. And he had the giant spider Ungoliant do it with him. Which leads into like the spiders in the Fellowship of the Ring, or no, it was actually the Return of the King. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that was wrong. And then acting like Galadriel hadn't been to Valinor. They all left Valinor to go to Middle-earth to fight Morgoth over the Silmarils. They acted like, oh yeah, she's going back and it's a special honor. No, everybody got to go back after the defeat of Morgoth. They could have all went back, but they didn't. They wanted to stay in Middle-earth and rule their kingdoms, which is what she was doing. She wasn't chasing Sauron through the wilderness in the north and freezing her butt off. Problems, so many problems. I enjoyed it, but I have real problems with what they're going with it. But I'm going to keep going with it because I'm kind of curious. Fun thing that I saw that was interesting was when Elrond took Celebrimbor to the doors of Moria there, and they went in, and he got to go in, but the other one didn't, and Celebrimbor didn't get to go in. Well, if you remember in the Fellowship of the Ring, the big doors to Moria where Gandalf sits outside and they try to figure it out, those doors are actually built by Celebrimbor, and it's actually in the writing on the doors. So interesting side effect there. Okay, I could go on, and I really could keep going for another 15, 20 minutes. I actually had
we got 2 more shows to do. So
I actually had a thought about seeing if you guys have a link where you could put, like, I could write a blog of just the things that I see that are problems, and you could post it as kind of a link to this, maybe.
Or we can do Pat's Corner, and you could go in and talk for whatever, and then put it up.
I think we should have the annotated notes because we do have the chat feature on this.
Yeah,
and so we could see the full text of Pat's commentary.
I might do that. I might have to do that.
That might be very helpful.
Okay, but I like. I mean,
you can annotate it and say, "Here's."
It would be a good complimentary piece, actually. I'm not kidding.
It looked good.
Well,
but
let's talk about. Yeah, let's talk about
and
it.
The friendship of the dwarfs and the elves, they hated each other at this point in history. They hate each other.
All right. Okay. But maybe we'll find out why they hated each other.
I can
All
tell you
right,
why.
David. Okay, that's enough from you. David, chime in.
I got lost at the beginning exposition. I found that it's so long-winded. It was just painful. At the
Wrong.
beginning, there's a cute little girl, and then there's a little boat in the water, and then the boat gets smashed. I swear to goodness, I was thinking there might be a chance that Pennywise might jump up because the little boat reminded me of that scene. And but it was just really hard. You had to like drag me behind wild horses, maybe behind wild Megan Stallion here or something to keep me into this. It's just hard for me to enjoy these films. Tolkien's a great writer. His world building I applaud, but man, I just can't get into it too much. He liked it a lot. This guy he liked it a lot.
Wait a minute, where's his hand?
Huh?
That's me, but that hand is an unfortunate placement.
But I just couldn't get it. I'm looking forward to watching more. I'm going to get some more caffeine, and I'm going to go back through those 2 episodes. Yeah. That exposition at the beginning, it just killing.
If you need cliff notes on what happened, call me, and I'll walk you through what really happened.
All right, man.
Because that is 1-800-LOVE-TOLKIEN. That's where you can reach me back. Well, I liked it. I thought it did take me a couple of watchings, a couple of viewings. Just because I don't come in with all the Tolkien knowledge and baggage. So for me, it was just looking at a fantasy story with some familiar pieces from the movies that had come out. So I thought that the acting was really good.
Yeah.
I thought that it's beautifully done.
It was a good looking show. It was totally
it's gorgeous to look at and just lush. And I like that you got to see young Elrond and young Galadriel and some of those characters that you know of, and then got to understand the dwarf world and kind of got some more background on that. And I thought that and Callum what's his name?
Kellen Brimbor.
I was like, oh, okay, so he's gonna be the one to build that tower that becomes the place where Sauron's eye is, I think. And no, well, we'll see. They're changing everything up. So
that is a point, yes.
Yeah, so but then I liked kind of watching the politics of the elves and kind of how I like that they made Galadriel different. I like the diversity in the cast. I don't care about any of that other stuff, but I sure was glad to see some brown faces up in this world now. And the one thing I didn't understand, it wasn't even that I had a problem with, I just didn't understand the stranger. I didn't understand what that was, and I didn't understand why that fit into the storyline. I'm sure we'll find out more, but that part I was kind of like, man, I don't understand that yet. So I just would zoom past that when I watched.
If I were guessing, I would say that is that's probably Gandalf. But as an earlier incarnation, which was he was called Olorin at that point, but it's about 2,000 years too early. But that's fine; they can bring him in because
I thought it was maybe the tree people or something. No, it kind of reminded me of the tree people when they talked and stuff. So I don't know.
It's Tari, is what he is. Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out. I'm still rock with it until I can't. And then I probably will get through all of it. So, but I think it's something, if nothing else, you will watch a beautiful show. And it has good acting. So don't come on into it with preconceived notions. Just let it be what it is. And I think you'll enjoy it. So it's a mixed review. Some like it, some don't. Some are just despising it at this point. But check it out for yourself and see. And then let us know. Right back here. All right. So here we go with the next episode finally kicked in with She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost Patrick.
Can't get upset and leave us.
I'd like to accept your offer.
So this means you're taking Blonsky's case.
There's something in this country called due process. Emil deserves a fair hearing. You said to my face that you never turn into the abomination anymore. Who forced you to escape this insanely high-security prison undetected?
A sorcerer supreme of the mystic arts, and his name is
Wong. Just Wong. He's either a sorcerer who lives in New York or a librarian who lives in Nepal.
Can you get to him?
Miss Focus, received your message.
Mr. Wong. Great entrance. Perfect timing. I really need to take this.
You may go.
So now whether I like it or not, I am forever She-Hulk.
Great. We have to take a break. When we come back, She-Hulk shares her diet and exercise secrets.
I'm sorry, what?
Super cute. Okay. All right. Marvel Guru, don't take 5 minutes, but what did you think of She-Hulk?
No, it was good. It was very entertaining. I am still okay with the fourth wall breaking stuff. It's pretty good. A little bit of exposition about what's going on here. Well done. I mean, it's just fun. It's entertaining. There was an addition of something they didn't speak much about when they were trying to get her blood. The people with the Asgardian stuff. That's the Wrecking Crew. They're actually a Marvel supervillain team. They're kind of low power. Used to fight Thor a lot, which is why they I think they did the Asgardian weapons or construction crew.
Okay. Oh, well, looks like they might have wrecked his
Yeah, I think the Asgardian construction crew did stop him there in mid-thought.
All right, David, jump in.
Okay, let's hit the fourth wall. That is the only part of this show that I don't like. And I like the show so much that the more they do it, it really detracts for me. Fun. It's neat. I enjoy it. A little bit of humor in there. I do wish they were longer, but I don't like the fourth wall with this because outside of Deadpool, none of the other Marvel has done that. And I like it to fit into this world. And this is it's such a neat character.
Yeah.
It's just really well done. It's creative. That's the only thing. Take out that Modern Family office shtick or whatever. It's even more so. It's even worse than that because they're just talking directly to the audience and not to mockumentaries. But it's good other than that. I think that's, well, I won't say it's a fatal flaw, but it is a strong flaw for me in this. Otherwise, I love it.
Okay, Pat, you want to finish your comment?
No, I was wrapping up. I mean, it was interesting to see some of these other Thor characters who looked, the fact they were saying robbed an Asgardian construction crew. Well, they were mainly one of Thor's villains. He'd have to fight the team of them or whatever. So I mean, it's pretty good stuff. The shape-shifting stuff, very fun. Wong making the appearance, fun. And well, of course, I don't want to ruin Pam's big moment. She's excited to talk about this, but they had a guest star that was pretty funny. It was super. And again, if you were not sticking around to the end credits, you should be sticking around to the end credits.
Oh, that was super hilarious this week. The end credits are everything. And it brought me finally fully into the show this week. I think it made more sense to me this week. And I think that the characters, it seemed like the writing was really a lot better. And Tatiana Maslany felt more comfortable in the role maybe. And so you finally got the sense of things all coming together. But that typically has happened by the third episode in these Marvel TV shows. Things start to really click and then it just ratchets it up until the final, 8th episode, and you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. So this week with our mystery guest who was in there. If you know, you know. And so it was really great to see this person and seeing them now in the Marvel universe. And it didn't look, I looked at the credits, that it wasn't a special guest star, that they had like a title of maybe an ongoing character. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope she gets superpowers.
Well, she did sign up to be her lawyer, so there's obviously choices to come back in.
Yes. So it's good to see body positive, sex positive, female rapper in the game coming out to have fun in this new Marvel universe. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited for the rapper and seeing good things coming out. But I thought it was really cute. You have to see the final episode. It's really cute because I think when the person said, I would die for you, it was like, oh, I would kill for you. It was so perfect that She-Hulk would say something like that. So it just...
Well, it's funny because I've read that Tatiana Maslany is a big fan. And she was that excited about meeting her, so it came through pretty real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that did come through. And it was a lot of fun this week. But it gets you back into the Marvel good versus evil too this week, the beginning of it. So we'll get to see who's the big bad coming up in a couple weeks. And I look forward to it now. I'm looking forward to it. So definitely check out She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Okay. And then finally, we're going to have to figure out something. Maybe we can come in on Monday and do a quick review because our review is a little late. House of the Dragon. Let's take a peek.
Mounted at 3 and 20 nights. Sir Ryman was knighted at 8 and 10.
How many of these knights have combat experience? Beyond capturing poachers.
Here is the hard truth, which no one else has the heart to tell you. Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne.
It hasn't even been half the year since Emma passed.
The realm expects you to take a new wife sooner or later, Grace, to strengthen your line and produce more heirs. You could not ask for a stronger match than Lena.
You cannot worry at the matters of lords and kings, Rhaenyra. What if your father were to remarry?
When I ascended the Driftwood throne, I knew what I wanted. So I went out and seized it. The other realm's second sons. Our worth is not given. It must be made.
Oh man, I gotta go first. I love this episode. I loved it so far. Of course, there's a part in there that makes us feel uncomfortable because that's not what we do anymore, about marrying for position and power and these arranged marriages. But I think that's just what it was back then. I mean, people just need to understand, if they're doing, fantasy history about historical kind of stuff, girls were married off at very young ages until not that. I mean, we act like this is, it's fantasy. It's not true, but women were married off at very young ages until, 100 years ago? It's not that far, maybe 150 years ago. That's not that long. In
Depending on where you live, probably right now.
Yeah.
And I'm
Very
not.
true.
I'm not
Very
happy
true.
about it.
Very true. So, you know, you have to, you know, kind of take that, you know, for what it is. But it got turned on a dime. One dude played the game to the bone. And so, you know, flipped the script on what some people thought they were gonna do. So I thought it was a lot of interesting plot twists and a lot of interesting things going on. And such a good story that I'm okay with things being different from the other series, because I want to see where they're going to go with this one and the direction it's going to take. So definitely for me, it was a A for me this week. What did you think, Patrick?
It's good. You're right. I mean, it's different times, different things going on. So, I mean, but hey, he dodged that bullet. Good job on him for not doing the really creepy thing. I mean, but this is
and the more politically powerful thing.
I mean, this is Game of Thrones. If you don't expect creepy sex twists and stuff, you haven't been paying attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, this is what this whole franchise is built on. You know,
Yeah.
the dirty underside of the high fantasy stuff. You know, I mean. It's still too early for me to be super involved, you know, invested in any of these characters. You know, there's some interesting things kind of going on. One actor I really always love is Grant McTavish, who played the Kingsguard, who was there in that clip you had, kind of helping her pick the next Kingsguard. He was from Outlander, and he's been in a lot of stuff. He's really cool. Super neat guy. If you read any of his books and stuff he's written about his life and acting, super neat stuff. But he's a great actor. I mean, they got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
But and they've obviously got a lot of budget, so they're doing some pretty cool stuff. But you know, we'll see. Like I said, I'm still not super invested. Definitely worth watching though. Like it.
Yeah. How about you, David?
Yeah, I think this is really good. There's no long-winded exposition that loses me in the 5 minutes. This is great. And I like it, and I've liked it. Okay, the first episode, I really started to get more invested in the characters this go around. And in the second episode, the young lady who is the king's daughter, man,
Rhaenyra,
great. And I mean, just really shows. All right, I am going to be running things, and this is how I demonstrate my worthiness of it. Boom, this was great. Matt Smith is great. Stephen Toussaint in this role and kind of seeing where he's going. This, you know, the sea snake. Wow, he's great. You know, it is an element of this. I mean, this is we're talking about here, child brides and things. It all makes us wince a little bit by today's mores. Life expectancy for all of us was very different. Human race, you know, hundreds of years ago. That is a factor in some of this. Even though it's a fantasy thing, it is kind of based on our medieval. But yeah, I am glad the King Patty went a different way there with that, and I thought that was good. It broke my heart watching them take that walk in the courtyard.
Yeah.
That's a baby.
Well, and it's not even 6 months. They didn't even give the poor man like a year. I mean, they didn't even allow
all about
a
power.
little bit. I mean, they were dang near talking about it the night it happened. That she died. They're like, well, you know, you're going to marry somebody else.
Gotta produce heir. Gotta produce an heir.
Yeah. I mean,
and we saw that in England, you know, back in the 90s or the 80s, whenever those boys were born in England.
Yeah.
You know, it was.
I mean, you think about it too. I mean, they've got to produce an heir, and the reason why it's important is because they don't want dynastic war. You have all of the minor kingdoms trying to ascend the Iron Throne at that point. So you got to have a clear line of succession, so there's no question about who should be the king.
Yeah, and even still, you know, he has a daughter. She's of age. She has already been named Princess of the Realm, but there's still like, okay, but get married and see if you can have a boy. And then, you just slide it over to him. And so it's like, the queen, the other queen, I guess not technically queen, but she was right. They'd rather set fire to the realm than let a woman lead, because she rightfully should have been the heir. And then, like, her children should have made that political match. And that would have been a very strong political move for him to make. But our boy, the king's hand, played that hand the way a true poker player did. Get that ace out the hole, slap the ace down, and poof, there you go. No, my daughter is going to be the next queen. So that is, so I can't wait to see what that relationship is going to be between the two best friends, because that would have made me feel all some kind of way if my friend married my dad. That would have been like, okay, you and I about to have a problem. So definitely this is a great episode. And next week, and the crab, what was it, the crab feeder, the new villain who's out there destroying all the ships,
the pirates.
The pirate. And he's got that grayscale stuff. Ugh, that was gross to see in the other series. So he's got that and a harpy mask. I was like, oh God, this guy is just gross. So definitely they're coming back with the squelchy, squishy glue stuff. So right back Game of Thrones, and more dragons. So I think we'll be seeing a lot more. So definitely, I think we all agree it's a very good episode, and definitely check it out each week. And we are now at the end of our episode. So next week, we'll have the 3 shows we'll be covering: Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, and She-Hulk. And next week, it's Disney Plus Day on Wednesday. So we will be able to finally review Thor, Love and Thunder. And so we're going to check that out as well. So fellas, it was a good week. It was a long week. So let us go. Pat, say goodbye to the people.
I'll see you next week. I'll have plenty to talk about.
Oh, I'm sure you will. David, say good night to the people.
Good night to the people. So long, everybody. Have a great Labor Day. Try not to work too hard when you do get back. We'll see you later.
And remember, it's because of our unions that you have Labor Day. So thank a union person. Thanks, Patrick.
Oh,
And we will see you next week, 9 p.m. Same Pat time, same Pat channel. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you guys.